Welcome, guys, to our first lesson of online learning. I'm kind of backtracking a little. Some of you guys maybe already have this done. If you do, just submit it. You don't need to listen to this. But if you're not here the last week before the break, we're talking this unit about congruent triangles. So first of all, we're going to define congruent triangles as triangles that have the same shape. So they look like the same and they are also the same size. Okay, so the triangles that have the same shape and size are what we call congruent triangles. This means that all the corresponding parts, so parts of the triangle are angles. Angles are part of a triangle, and sides. Those are kind of the two parts of a triangle, sides. So this means that all of the angles are congruent and all of the sides are congruent. So right down here on this next little problem, it talks about how when triangles are congruent, we can write what's called a congruency statement. We can kind of talk about which angles are congruent, which sides are congruent. So you'll notice right here when they write the congruency statement for the triangle, it starts off with the triangle. See that little mark right there? The triangle ABC is what they're saying is congruent. So there's your squiggly mark and other things. Now the order matters right here. So if you're talking about triangle ABC over here, notice how A, that's this angle right there, it is congruent to angle D in the other triangle right over here. They both have the same marking. They both have just that one tick mark on the angle. So the order over here on your second triangle has to match up. D has to be first because it corresponds with that A right there. Okay, and then when you look, B was second. Notice here B has the two ticks. My calibration is off. It corresponds with E that has the two ticks right here. So these two are in the same exact place. And that leaves our last letter is F over here. F, when you notice right here, F, where's F? F is congruent to C right there. So C and F are both to the last place. Okay, that's what they call a congruency statement. Now we're going to use this. Actually, before we do that, CPCTC stands for corresponding parts of congruent triangles. Congruent triangles are congruent. All right, so that just says if we know two triangles are congruent, that means all their parts have things that line up. So when we're looking at this example one, they've told us that this nice lovely triangle right here, I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit because I can't read it. Okay, so they've told us that angle JKL is congruent to PQR. So that means that when we talk about our angles right here, that we can notice things about the angles. Let's look at the first triangle. Angle JKL, so angle J and angle K and angle L. We know something about all three of those. Okay, that they have congruent angles in our second triangle right here. So angle J was in the first place. So it's going to correspond or be congruent with angle P because P was our first order right there. All right, K likewise was in the middle, so it's going to correspond with angle Q, and angle L is going to be congruent with angle R. Let's make sure that says R. All right, now we can match up the sides. Basically, you don't even need to draw the triangle for this. You could draw the triangle and look at what's in between the angles, but I would just take the order on this too. So we could say that JK, notice that those are the first two letters of my first triangle. That's going to be congruent to the first two letters of our second triangle, which are PQ. So those will be congruent. We know that KL, the middle and the last letters of the triangle, they're going to match up or line up exactly as QR. And then if you look at the first and the last letter, so JL, that's going to be congruent with the first and last letter, or PR right there. All right, that's example number one.